Roman Reigns to pull a trump card against Jey Uso. Surprises rumored to happen on WWE SmackDown. Ronda Rousey chased out of WWE. Mandy Rose receives huge bids for a piece of WWE memorabilia. The Judgement Day's WWE NXT future revealed. Seth Rollins loses his World Heavyweight Championship. Bloodline member takes a shot at The Rock and more. Let's jump right into it. Surprises rumored to happen on WWE SmackDown. WWE SmackDown has been delivering high-quality shows, captivating fans, which resulted in increased viewership. The anticipation for SmackDown has grown among fans who are excited about the further development of current storyline. Tonight's episode is expected to bring new twists and turns to the ongoing storyline. In the previous episode of the Blue Brand, Jey Uso seemingly issued a challenge to Roman Reigns for the undisputed championship. However, Reigns is yet to respond to his cousin. Another significant match scheduled for tonight is the WWE Women's Championship bout, with Asuka defending her title against Bianca Belair. Now, let's delve into 5 potential surprises that could unfold in tonight's episode of SmackDown. Number 5. Bobby Lashley returns to SmackDown. Bobby Lashley has been absent from WWE television since the May 12, 2023 episode of SmackDown. However, he recently competed in a match against Baron Corbin at WWE Sunday Stunner on June 25, 2023. With SummerSlam 2023 approaching, many fans are anticipating the return of Lashley to the Blue Brand. Lashley's potential return to SmackDown could generate significant excitement among fans. Even the company had been advertising his appearance on its official website for tonight's episode. It remains to be seen whether Lashley will make his comeback on tonight's edition or not. There is a possibility that he could wrestle in a dark match after the show. Number 4. Grayson Waller calls out Stone Cold Steve Austin. Grayson Waller had been involved in notable segments in recent weeks. It includes interactions with John Cena at Money in the Bank and a Waller effect moment with Edge. There have been reports suggesting that Stone Cold Steve Austin could make a return to WWE to elevate Waller's status in the company. It is possible that Grayson Waller could call out Stone Cold on tonight's episode of SmackDown. As we are on the road to SummerSlam, and a confrontation with the Texas Rattlesnake could generate significant buzz for the upcoming event. Number 3. LA Knight's SummerSlam opponent tease. LA Knight has been gaining a tremendous amount of popularity among fans. A recent off-air segment of Knight garnered significant attention on social media. During that segment, Knight attacked Hit Row and the crowd chanted his name, highlighting his growing popularity as the self-proclaimed megastar. As we approach SummerSlam 2023, it is likely that LA Knight's plans for the event will start to unfold soon. There is speculation among fans regarding who his opponent might be, with Bray Wyatt being mentioned as a possible contender. It remains to be seen how Knight's storyline will develop and who he will ultimately face at the biggest party of summer. Number 2. Charlotte Flair attacks Bianca Belair and Asuka. Asuka is scheduled to defend her WWE Women's Championship against Bianca Belair on tonight's episode of the Blue Brand. However, this match could potentially be interrupted by the Queen. The EST also retaliated against Charlotte Flair and Asuka on the June 30, 2023 episode. Later on, Belair demanded a championship rematch against Asuka, which was announced for tonight's show. There is a possibility that Flair could seek revenge and make her presence felt by attacking Belair. The ongoing feud between the 3 competitors suggests a potential triple threat match at SummerSlam 2023. Number 1. Paul Heyman accepts Jey Uso's challenge. The former undisputed tag team champion had issued a challenge to Roman Reigns for a singles match at SummerSlam PLE. Tonight's edition of the show may see the tribal chief finally respond to that challenge. However, the schedule of Roman Reigns indicates that he will be absent from tonight's episode. All leads to the speculation that Paul Heyman might accept the challenge on Reigns' behalf. The potential confrontation between Jey Uso and Heyman could serve as a message from the undisputed champion. It will be interesting to witness the developments that unfold in the ongoing Bloodline saga on tonight's episode. Ronda Rousey chased out of WWE. There has been rampant online speculation surrounding Ronda Rousey's WWE future since Money in the Bank. There are several reports claiming that Rousey is looking to leave and return to MMA at 145 olds, but these reports have been dismissed. Shayna Baszler turning on Ronda Rousey back at Money in the Bank seemingly was the start of the rumor since it came out of nowhere, and many believe it's because Rousey has given WWE a hard-out date for her contract. WWE's recent partnership with Endeavor could open the door to Rousey for her return, but it could also allow Amanda Nunes to head in the opposite direction since she noted that she would be open to making the switch. Amanda Nunes dominated UFC for several years and could be someone to legitimately take the fight to Ronda Rousey in a wrestling ring or in the octagon if she had retired earlier this year. Cain Velasquez made the move to the wrestling world to try and settle his issues with Brock Lesnar, and Amanda Nunes could be the perfect person to put Rousey in her place. If Rousey is able to come out on top in her feud against Shayna Baszler, then Nunes could be brought in as a WrestleMania opponent for Rousey, who could then defeat her and send her packing back to UFC. It's unclear if Nunes would be able to adapt to wrestling in the same way that Rousey and Baszler have, but bringing someone like her into the women's division could add some much-needed legitimacy and would bring in some fresh eyes. Do you think Amanda Nunes will be the one to chase Ronda Rousey out of the company? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Mandy Rose receives huge bids for a piece of WWE memorabilia. Despite leaving WWE late last year, Mandy Rose still has many loyal followers outside of the wrestling business. The 32-year-old established herself as one of the company's most talented female performers in recent years, with her reign as the NXT Women's Champion, which lasted for 413 days. However, the day after losing her title, Rose was released after WWE higher-ups did not want her to continue posting adult content on the FanTime site. Earlier this week, Mandy revealed that she will be auctioning her ring gear online. The gear in question was one of the last additures she wore before leaving the company. During her time in NXT, Mandy helped two of the brand's most promising young stars, Jacy Jayne and Gigi Dolan, rise to the top. All three of them formed Toxic Attraction, which dominated NXT for months. Although she is making an incredible living for herself away from the ring, there is a sense of unfinished business between Rose and the WWE. Speaking on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine, veteran wrestling journalist Bill Apter said that he could see Mandy Rose one day making a return to the company. But honestly, Mandy Rose, started out as a pretty face and a pretty body, the model look, but she really learned the ropes, and she really became quite a talent in NXT and WWE. And Teddy is gonna know this better than either of us. Once you go away from it for years, there's always something that's gonna drag you back in because you really never want to leave it forever. Over the years, many superstars who have left under dramatic circumstances have returned to the company in some capacity, including the Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, and Brock Lesnar. Do you think Mandy Rose will ever return to WWE? Give us your thoughts in the comments section below. The Judgment Day's WWE NXT future revealed. Shawn Michaels is remaining tight-lipped on the Judgment Day's future in WWE NXT following their recent appearance on the show. The July 11 episode of NXT largely revolved around Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Rhea Ripley. The main roster group will feature on the show again next week when Mysterio challenges Wes Lee for the North American Championship. In an exclusive interview with Sportskeeda Wrestling's Riju Dasgupta, Michaels teased that the Judgment Day might remain in NXT beyond next week's episode. Obviously, we're thrilled to have Rhea and obviously Dom and Judgment Day as a whole coming through NXT, and who knows how much they'll be here in the near future. It certainly looks like Dom is gonna, at the very least, be here next week along with Rhea to receive an NXT North American Championship match from Wes Lee. We'll see what kind of ramifications that has on Great American Bash on July 30. Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Rhea Ripley featured in the opening segment with NXT champion Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. The promo exchange led to a tag team match at the end of the night, which resulted in Balor and Priest defeating the NXT duo. The finish saw Balor pin Hayes after a miscommunication involving Ilja Dragunov, the NXT champion's upcoming opponent at the Great American Bash. Another notable moment came when Mysterio and Ripley interrupted a backstage interview with Wes Lee. The winner of the North American Championship match on next week's NXT between Lee and Mysterio will defend the title against Mustafa Ali at the Great American Bash. Would you like the Judgment Day to make more NXT appearances? Let us know in the comments section below. Seth Rollins loses his World Heavyweight Championship. WWE fans have picked a favorite in Seth Rollins' rumored title match at SummerSlam 2023, and it is not the champion. As per the reports, Finn Balor will challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at the upcoming Premium Live event. The Judgment Day member has been feuding with the Architect on Raw over the past few months. Balor also challenged Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at Money in the Bank earlier this month, but failed to dethrone the champion. The match ended awkwardly when Balor was briefly distracted by Damian Priest at ringside, with the Money in the Bank briefcase in his hand that he had won earlier in the night. It led to a massive conflict between Balor and Priest, but was seemingly resolved on Raw this week, with reports suggesting that Balor and Rollins will lock horns in a title match at SummerSlam. WWE fans believe the title must change hands. Many argue that a stipulation must be added to the title match like Hell in a Cell or a steel cage match to keep the rest of the Judgment Day members from interfering in the bout. They noted that it would also keep Damian Priest from cashing in his MITB contract. Most fans claim that Balor needs to win the title at SummerSlam for his storyline with Seth Rollins to come to a full circle after 7 years. Others added that a big title win will establish the Judgment Day as a dominant heel stable now that the bloodline has seemingly dissolved. The Architect joined forces with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for a 6-man tag team match against the Judgment Day earlier this week on Raw. Rollins was initially confident about the match as he was convinced that Balor and Priest wouldn't be on the same page. However, the champions locked horns with a united Judgment Day as Balor and Priest worked well together, having sorted out their differences backstage. In the end, Dominic, Balor, and Priest defeated the champions in an entertaining match to close the show. This marked the first time in over 5 months that Seth Rollins lost a match on WWE Raw. The Architect had maintained an impressive winning streak on the Red brand since early this year. It will be interesting to see how he responds to the Judgment Day on Raw next week. Bloodline member takes a shot at The Rock. The Bloodline continued their rivalry with the Usos on last week's episode of SmackDown. In the aftermath of the show, Paul Heyman took to Twitter to take shots at numerous WWE legends. This past Friday, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Heyman walked out to a huge ovation from the WWE Universe at Madison Square Garden. However, it was Jey Uso who got the last laugh over his family members as he single-handedly fought both the Tribal Chief and the Enforcer. Taking to Twitter, Paul Heyman shared a new set of photos featuring himself and his faction members. He proceeded to take a shot at The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Hulk Hogan, and made a bold claim regarding the bloodline owning Madison Square Garden. No one in history, not Bruno, not Hulk, not Austin, Rock, DX, or Cena. No one has ever owned Madison Square Garden like the bloodline. Hey, you can throw in Ali, Frazier, the Knicks, Rangers, et al. To that equation. Hashtag it. The ones, wrote the wise men. Paul Heyman took to Twitter to share an incredible image of the WWE Universe at Madison Square Garden acknowledging Roman Reigns. The wise man also shared a short message, courtesy of one of his recent tweets. During the closing moments of last week's SmackDown, Jey Uso issued a challenge to the Tribal Chief for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. With Jimmy currently out of action, the match is expected to take place at SummerSlam on August 5, 2023, and will be the trilogy between Reigns and Jey. Would you like to see Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso at the upcoming SummerSlam Premium Live event? Sound off in the comment section below. The Bloodline storyline changes the wrestling business. For the past 3 years, WWE's biggest storyline has involved Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, with the Anali family leading the current generation of stars, alongside his cousins the Usos and Solo Sikoa, as well as supporting roles from the likes of Paul Heyman, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes. The ever-evolving saga has gripped fans across the globe. During an interview with WrestleSphere, former WWE star Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, who is the wife of Jimmy Uso, praised her husband and fellow family members for their work in recent years. When I think about legacy, I think about my husband and what he's accomplishing and what he's doing. All of them together, the way they changed people's minds about tag team wrestling and what you can do with tag team wrestling. You know, at one point, nobody thought a tag team match would main event WrestleMania. To me, that's what creating a legacy is, when you're able to change the narrative and the course of history by how talented you are, by your work and your contribution. Currently, the bloodline is hanging on by a thread, with Jimmy and Jey recently defeating Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa in a huge tag team match earlier this month at Money in the Bank. Last week on SmackDown, the Usos put Roman Reigns on trial for his various transgressions as the Tribal Chief. Whilst it briefly looked like the head of the table was about to hand over control of the bloodline to Jey, Roman hit his cousin with a low blow, following that up with a brutal assault on Jimmy. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk, former WWE manager Dutch Mantell gave his thoughts on the dramatic segment between the family. "I knew something was going to happen, but then I said, just a little part of me said, Roman Reigns, may give it. It's a swerve, but he might give it to him. He'd take it back anytime anyway because he's the chief. But when he had that little tear, that was great," said Dutch Mantell. Whilst the match is not yet confirmed, many are expecting Roman Reigns and Jey Uso to battle it out at SummerSlam on Saturday, August 5th, not only for the undisputed WWE Universal title, but for control of the bloodline as well. Will Jey Uso take the title off Roman Reigns? Give us your predictions in the comments section below. For Roman Reigns to pull a trump card against Jey Uso, Roman Reigns received a massive challenge from the man who pinned him at Money in the Bank last week on SmackDown. This week, the Blue Brand has advertised the fallout of Jey Uso's undisputed WWE Universal Championship Challenge. While the WWE Universe keenly awaits the happenings of this particular segment, it may have a prediction for you. The Bloodline storytelling over the past year has been nothing short of magical on camera. While half of their stories are as real as ever, we got some brilliant moments and matches from the group while taking this cinematic approach. We had a similar cinematic experience this time as well. Last week, we saw Jimmy Uso being taken out in an ambulance after getting severely injured by Solo Sikoa. That injury itself angered Jey Uso, who then came out and challenged Reigns for the title. While Roman Reigns is not advertised for the show, an angle could happen with Jey Uso coming to the ring to cut a promo on Reigns. During that promo, we could see a video on the big screen showing the Tribal Chief entering Jimmy's house or the hospital and attacking him to send a message to Jey Uso and make him withdraw his challenge or face the consequences. A similar segment to Triple H entering Randy Orton's house over a decade ago. This segment would surely bring goosebumps to the arena, hyping the match and story to a whole new level for SummerSlam. If Roman doesn't wish to do it himself, we could see the Tribal Chief send Solo Sikoa to do the dirty work. After transforming into the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns had his first major rivalry with Jey Uso. Back then, the rivalry was still in its early stages and not as intense and personal as it is today. Back then, Reigns asked Uso to acknowledge him as the Tribal Chief, but Jey didn't bother much. The rivalry ended with Roman Reigns defeating Jey Uso twice, retaining his championship and his status as the head of the table. Eventually, Jey Uso acknowledged Reigns and fell in line. Another similar moment, if this does happen, could be Jimmy Uso being attacked. At Hell in a Cell 2020, Roman Reigns used an injured Jimmy Uso as bait to regain his top spot, and this time could be no different.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take